Hear me out, hear me out. Let me just get this off my chest. Welcome to Her Diary Out Loud with Danny Royal, where my journey does not define me, but it defies the barriers of caring about what other people think. One real life experience at a time, my story, my way. I mean, it's better out than in, right? I'm so excited, first let me say, to do the series. I got this series because I was inspired to just tell a story through the sitcom titles. And there will be an unfolding of each one, but for the sake of not being like, you know, in error by, some copywritten stuff, I'm going to put her in front of each title. So the first title, which is the recap that we're going over today, is Golden Girl. I mean, pun intended, no pun intended, okay? Hence the hair. Yes, we have something new going on. So be prepared for Her Diary Out Loud to get real loud, even with her hair, okay? Okay. So y'all don't mind me. I got a little sense of humor. I can't help it. You know what I'm saying? You gotta keep it light. Gotta keep it light. Especially how deep we gonna get in these conversations, okay? Let me know how y'all like the hair. Let me know if the curls is giving or what. Is the blonde giving or what? Ooh. Okay, I'm feeling myself. But no, I grew up in a way where I could be the golden child in a sense. Um, but I would say that I'm the golden girl. I didn't always want to be the golden girl. No, I didn't want to always be that. With being the golden girl comes so much. It comes with so much. Now, I'm pretty sure you all know where I've gotten the Golden Girl from. I've gotten the Golden Girl from simply the Golden Girls, okay? I know I'm a little younger, but I know about the Golden Girls. I don't know about you guys, but I know somebody knows about the Golden Girls. And for me, I used to be, and probably am still the Golden Girl in some people's eyes today. I know that the Golden Girl for me means the one who was always innocent, the one who was never supposed to do or say anything wrong. In fact, let me read off my poetry to you. Not even read, let me cite it to you because I did this poem when I was in elementary school. No, I'm lying. I was in high school and I was in a poetry club. And I actually love poetry so much. Oh my goodness. I remember having to perform this. I remember having to perform this poem. And I was able to recite it by verse. And I got it, okay? So let me get my flow together. Let me get into my mode, my poetry mode. And let me see if I remember the words, first of all. Does it matter if I am who I am? A young black African American female not trying to pretend to be outside of who I am. The fakest personality knowing in all actuality that this is not who I am. Doesn't matter if I am who I am. One of God's finest creations, he sees me as a masterpiece. A masterpiece is what I am. It doesn't matter what he, she, or they think of me because here is where I stand. This is a part of me. This is a part of who I am. What's the ending? It's a shadow. I said it's a shadow. No, it's someone else's image of me. Y'all, I wrote that poem when I was little. Like, I literally, or when I was younger, not necessarily little, but because I was wise enough to be able to converse those words or to compose those words to be heard. But man, That's powerful. It's a shadow. It's a shadow. No, it's someone else's image of me. Bro, I wrote that when I was in high school. I was about to say middle school, high school. And when I say that sometimes we as people, we grow up living in the shadows of someone else's image, or we grow up trying to uphold or adhere to a standard that sometimes we know that we can't uphold. I was the child that never did or said anything wrong, and I wasn't perfect. No, but I knew that as a child, I was least likely to be chosen to do some of the things that my siblings did. And in light of that, I was okay with that because I didn't want to get in trouble. I wanted to learn from what they did. I didn't want no parts, okay? You hear me? I didn't want the smoke, okay? And so I just was like, okay, I choose to do the right thing. Now I had a baby at a young age, of course, two babies at a young age. I was still in high school when I did. But the thing about it is even in that, I still had this purity to me. Like nobody wanted to believe that this no nobody wanted to believe that this young lady decided to be intimate with this young man and have this baby. Like I got stories like, oh, she got or whatever, she got raped, in the TV land world. And I'm just like, bro, nah. Like that was something that I had to consent to. Now, the way that it started was like totally like not the way that I probably would have came onto someone, but like it was consensual, right? But nobody ever thought that it would be me to have had the first grandchild or anything like that. And I would struggle with, you know, being the first one. I ain't even gonna lie. I would struggle with also being perfect Patty in a sense. The golden girl had to do things in a certain light. I speak on in our podcast. If you have not gone over, go ahead and go over right now over to our podcast. Pause the video. Go ahead to our podcast over there on Podbean and follow us under Her Diary Out Loud podcast and follow us. We've done our first podcast with this first series with the sitcom titles, and I'm super excited to share with you guys. And I want you all to get the fullness out of our experience and our encounter, because this is an experience for me. This is a release for me. And I also want you all to be releasing and flowing and growing with me as I'm doing this. So if you have not gone over now, okay? And so in light of all of that, I just always felt the need to have to be a certain way. I didn't always want to be a certain way. People have ideas of you that sometimes you can't even accomplish or achieve. They can't even accomplish or achieve. And it's like, you're asking me to do something, and I have the pressure of doing it, especially because I'm a child. Because it's just like, well, I want to do good. I don't want to dishonor or displease my parents. I see my siblings doing what they want to do and doing their own thing, and I don't quite want to. I don't want that result, and so I didn't want those results. I wanted to just be. I wanted to be around people, and I wanted people to be around me, but I was like socially awkward, to be honest. Like, you wouldn't even believe that the woman that you're seeing in this moment is Danny. You would not believe it. I was passive. I was quiet. I was chill. I didn't really do too much of anything because I did not want to get in trouble. And I didn't want to get in trouble because I really wanted to make my parents proud. To be specific, I really wanted to make my mother proud. My mother, she held me so close, and that was a beautiful thing. But sometimes that could be a blessing and a curse because I felt like we were always together. I'm like, sis, I want to go out. I want to see the world, and I would get frustrated because I wasn't the one that everybody cleaved to or flocked to. I wasn't the one. My siblings were the ones. My siblings were musicians and they were, singers, and that wasn't me. That was, if I might be able to find my note, but I'm not a singer. Okay, that's not that I'm not. I have to be honest and stand in my truth that that's not what I do. That's not who I am. But I can find my note though. And in light of that, my personality didn't give, I'm every woman, it's all in me. It gave, oh, that's what it gave. It gave all. And so I was always chased down with this innocence, by this innocence. And I didn't really realize that the innocence was good. The purity of who you are was good. When you become tainted with other things and the cares of this life, that's when you start doing things that you wouldn't normally do, or you don't have no business doing. And so I found myself through my journey doing things that I had no business doing later on, because I so bad wanted to not be the golden girl. I was tired. I'm like, look, I didn't try it this way. I didn't try it God's way. I didn't try it. And I'm just tired. Like, I didn't did it married. I didn't did it unmarried. I didn't. What more do you want, right? And so, growing up from a child into an adult, now having to formulate this woman that I am becoming today, what you see is the epitome of growth. What you see is the epitome of acceptance of purity from a standpoint of godly purity, but not perfect though. Because I'm not perfect. I've fallen short on several occasions, and we will unpack that. Okay? But I have. And I just want whomever to know, like, don't be consumed by the pressures of being golden to anyone. You may not be perfect to the people who want you to be perfect, but you're perfect to God, and you're right where He wants you to be. And I know that may seem far-fetched, and I know that may seem like but let me tell you, you are right where God wants you. I used to think that being the golden girl was a blessing and a curse, until I realized that my purity was what I could hold on to. And it wasn't even just being pure in a sexual manner. It was just being pure. I was green to a lot of stuff, a lot of things. And I thought that I wanted to know, but the truth is no, sis, you ain't want to know. I look at Hollywood and I look at all these things, and I remember chasing down my dream, or at least attempting to chase down my dream of modeling. And unfortunately, this is not unfortunate. I ended up being a mom, and mothering took precedent over my modeling career. I did what I could do, but it was more important to me to mother. There go me being the golden girl again. There go me being the golden girl again. You can't help it. The purity that I exude is not because I'm perfect. It's really because of the God in me. They used to joke on me and crack on me because I was so chill. I was quiet. And it's like, oh, she need to get laid. And I'm like, no, I don't. I'm good. And when I finally did, oh, the shame. Because I had exposed myself to something that I didn't need to be exposed to. I didn't expose myself to that thing really because I wanted to per se. It wasn't like I had to do it. It just happened. And now I ended up with 4 boys later, and I love my babies. But there's some things in my journey that probably could have been avoided had I stood my ground and been okay with where I was, been okay with the place that I was in, been okay with just being myself, being okay with being less likely to be chosen, being okay with people seeing me but not really seeing me. I wasn't sought after, but I know that I was loved. I wasn't fast, and I don't wanna say that in a bad word, because my siblings, they were out there being able to move with the pace of life, and I was still back sitting in the background like, what in the world's going on? I had little people that I like here and little people that I like there. And then I found this one person that I just really liked. And then all of a sudden, it was just like, okay, now you're a mom. So my journey has been my journey. It literally has been a process, a beautiful process. It's like beautifully broken. I've been beautifully broken. And I don't know about you, but if you've been beautifully broken, that's a beautiful thing. Because even when you didn't want to be the golden girl, or maybe even the golden guy, and you decided to do something outside of your norm or what you were used to because you wanted to fit in, or you wanted to be accepted, or you just wanted to own your story and be in your power, and you just seem awkward in doing so. I just want you to know that no matter what your story or your journey has been thus far, God is a redeemer of the time. And honey, he will make your name great before men. He will make you realize why where you are is right where you need to be. What you're doing is right what you need to be doing, and why you need to be doing it. And I love that about him. And that's what I love about this platform. It gives me the ability to share all of that. It gives me the ability to release all of that. Now, first, I had to release it here, and I had to release it here first. And I had to release it with him. And now I'm able to share. So if you have not, once again, gone over to our podcast, Podbean, and follow us under Her Diary Out Loud podcast, and check out our first series, second series, okay? Second series, first episode, Her the Golden Girl. And I'll see y'all there. Remember, you're not just mentally fit, physically fit, or even spiritually fit, but you are feminine and fit. Bye.